The January window might be closed, but Neil Warnock could still be in for a big transfer to the retirement home as Neil Francis Lennon declares interest in being the new Aberdeen manager. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. And Neil Warnock expected to come up here and experience Scottish football. He wanted to have fun. He probably thought he could tick a few boxes on the CV, get Aberdeen a third place finish, maybe tick off the Scottish Cup, but in reality that hasn't happened. He's still yet to tick off a win in the league, for God's sake, and the talk of him getting to the end of the season until Aberdeen can appoint a permanent manager, that seems to be done. That seems to be over. Neil Warnock could be leaving a lot earlier than he was hoping, and he could be replaced by none other than Neil Francis Lennon. Now, Neil Lennon actually opened up recently about the Aberdeen job, saying that it is a job that he would be interested in, and that he previously was interested in becoming the Aberdeen manager, but because he was in the running for the Republic of Ireland job, he wasn't able to commit to it. However, now we know he didn't get the Ireland job. He's not in contention anymore for the Ireland job, and that opens him up for a return to the Scottish Premiership. So this is what Neil Lennon said regarding the Aberdeen job. He says, quote, "Timing is important and the Aberdeen job is something that I would very much be interested in, no question. I think there is great potential at Aberdeen." End of quote. Then he spoke about how he couldn't take the job when Neil Warnock got it because of the Ireland process. He says, quote, "At the time, I was still involved with the Ireland process. I couldn't really take that on, but it's nice to know that some of the fans wanted me. That's great. I didn't think I was as popular up there." End of quote. So Lennon does seem to be a name that is being thrown around by some Aberdeen fans, and for me, it would be a good signing, there's no doubt about it. I think Lennon has had great success in Scotland. Celtic fans might not remember him so fondly because of the 10-in-a-row season, but outside of that, I mean, he had a great time in Scotland. You could argue that he had a better time at Celtic than Brendan Rodgers did. I think you could definitely argue that. So for me, Neil Lennon's one of those managers that just never really gets, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. Even his time at Hibernian, his Hibernian side was a dangerous team. Attacking wise, they were always a threat. I think under Neil Lennon, Hibernian accumulated their highest points total in the Scottish Premiership, 71 points, I believe. So he's definitely done a good job here. He won 5 league titles over 2 stints at Celtic, 4 Scottish Cups. So you can't really complain with his managerial record. Even at Hibs, he did good. Even when he went to Cyprus, he was doing very well, and he almost got 2 big, massive results in the Europa League, and I'm pretty sure he won the Cypriot Cup as well with his team, and they got rid of him for some strange reason. So for me, Lennon's done a pretty good job. But speaking about where he is right now as a manager, he said the following, quote, "I feel at 52 my best years are in front of me as a football manager and a coach in terms of experience, my achievements in the game and what I have done and learned as a manager. I do think there is a perception of me that is wrong. I have achieved a lot, titles, trebles, Champions League. I even went abroad and won a trophy and got that team into Europa League. I have won the Scottish Cup 4 times as a player and a manager. I have got real experience. I got the Celtic job when I was very young. That is like 15 years ago. People think I am getting on a bit, but I still have plenty of energy. I am looking forward to getting back in, but the managerial business is so competitive and there are so many candidates out there. With some clubs, you might suit the definition of what they want and other people might perceive you as not being the kind of coach that they want. I can manage, I can coach, I can do both. I'm enjoying talking crap as a pundit for the time being, and I'm very grateful for the work, but it is not what I want to do. I feel like I've got plenty left in me as a coach. I have done a lot in my career as a coach. I have achieved a lot, but there is still more to do, and I lower that I want to do." End of quote. So for me, I think Aberdeen should get Neil Lennon right now. For me, I would 100% snap him up. I think the guy, like I said, done a good job at Celtic, good job at Hibs. There's no reason why he wouldn't come in and do a good job at Aberdeen. Despite what Neil Warnock says, the bullshit that he comes out with, and some of the bullshit we've heard recently from Aberdeen fans, that Aberdeen squad's pretty decent. They do have a decent squad, and Neil Lennon, I think, could get the most out of that squad. People are talking about it as if Aberdeen have no good players, it's a horrible squad. This is the same Aberdeen fans that were claiming at the start of the season they had by far the third best team. You don't go from having by far the third best team to having like one of the worst teams in the league just because you're going through a bad spell and you've got a shit manager that can't get anything out of the players. So, no, for me, Aberdeen have a good side. I think Neil Lennon can get the best out of the Aberdeen side, and I think it'd be a good appointment. They should do it now. They should do it now. The only thing Aberdeen can't afford to do would be to bring in another interim manager and then get rid of them at the end of the season. I think if Aberdeen are going to replace Neil Warnock, then they need to make sure the manager that they're bringing in is the manager that they intend to start next season with. There's no point getting rid of Neil Warnock just to bring in another manager for like a 2-month period. That would be dumb. If that's the case, you may as well just keep Neil Warnock till the end. So I think if Neil Lennon's available, him and Aberdeen can work something out. I think it'd be a great appointment for Aberdeen. I think it'd be a great appointment for Neil Lennon. He's not going to get the Celtic job. He's definitely not going to go to Rangers. So, I mean, you can argue he's probably not going to go to Hearts either, is he? Let's be honest. So, Aberdeen's as big as it can get for Neil Lennon right now in Scotland. So, I think it would work for both parties. Aberdeen, Neil Lennon. I think if they made it work, it would be a good deal for both. So, yeah, guys, let us know what you think down below. Would Neil Lennon be a good manager for Aberdeen? Would Aberdeen be a good fit for Neil Lennon? Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. But until then, Beanfog Football. Peace.